A day of anti-racism demonstrations is underway across the country, although authorities have warned against gatherings in many cities. In Darwin, a march in support of Black Lives Matter was approved, but in Perth, the demonstration goes against official advice. WA's Premier has urged organisers to postpone today's event, and the City of Perth refused to grant a permit for it. But organisers say the rally will happen anyway. Reporter Rhiannon Shine is at the city's Langley Park West. So Rhiannon, it looks like we have people there gathering behind you. What's happening there at the moment?
Yeah, that's right. The event is well underway, as you can see, despite that advice. There are hundreds of people here, I'd say over 1,000. They were expecting between 8,000 up to 15,000. Certainly not that many, I don't think, but it is a huge space here at Langley Park. It could cater for up to 20,000 people while still adhering to that 1.5 metre distancing rule. And things are just starting to get underway. Lots of signs, lots of protesters here. Definitely over 1,000 people, but not quite as many at the moment as what they were expecting originally.
And authorities there expressing concerns. Just what specifically are they worried about?
Yeah, here in WA, our phase 3 restrictions allow for outdoor gatherings of up to 300 people, certainly well over that many people here today. The WA Premier's advice on this protest actually changed quite a bit through the week. At the start of the week, he was saying, you know, if people are going to go, please adhere to social distancing. By the end of the week, he was urging the protest organisers to postpone the event till after the pandemic. So he certainly was a lot more direct in his wording by the end of the week. And as you can see, they've proceeded anyway, despite also being rejected for a permit by the City of Perth.
Now, Rhiannon, in Sydney yesterday, we saw quite a heavy police presence for that particular event. What's it like, their security in Perth today?
There are police around. They're sort of keeping their distance back from the crowd at the moment. Organisers of the event have been liaising with police and police are here. They're just watching over the event and they're not expecting anything not to go according to plan. It's a peaceful protest, and at the moment, as you can see, everyone is silent around me.
All right, we will respect that. Our reporter Rhiannon Shine there reporting in Perth. Well, up to 1,000 people have gathered in Darwin for one of the country's only approved Black Lives Matter protests. Melissa McKay is at Civic Park in Darwin.
Well, it's been an emotional morning here in Darwin. We've heard from local Larrakia elders and young people all expressing their frustration and calling for an end to racism across Australia and across the world. We've heard from a lot of people speaking. There's been some acknowledgement of George Floyd's death over in the United States, and a lot of parallels have been drawn between racism in the US and here in Australia. There's been some anger, there's been some frustration, but there's also been a lot of emotion just about the number of people that are here in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Take a listen to what some of the protesters had to say this morning.
We're here too to support, our future as Indigenous people in this land, and to walk against the injustices of, what happens to our people with over 400 black deaths in custody.
I believe that this has been happening for generations and generations now, and hopefully this next generation will be the ones that will actually see some change occur.
So, Mel, is there a sense of momentum among those who've gathered as we see those marches continuing, not just in Darwin, but around the country and indeed the world?
There really is. A lot of people that we've spoken to today have really reiterated the fact that this movement has been going for quite some time. This isn't the first Black Lives Matter protest that we've seen here in the Northern Territory, but this is by far the largest that we've seen for quite some time here in Darwin, and so there's really a feeling of just so many people getting around the cause and really pushing for change.
Our reporter Melissa McKay there in Darwin. A mostly peaceful protest supporting the Black Lives Matter movement in Sydney last night has resulted in one arrest. A 24-year-old woman was arrested after failing to comply with a move-on direction and was fined for breaching public health orders.
It's disappointing to acknowledge that around 300 people chose to ignore the warnings that have been given by police in terms of coming to this public gathering.
I'm here because there's been 437 deaths in custody since 1991, so I'm here to make a stand, and I don't care that the government has said this is illegal. It was illegal to protest for the right to vote. It was illegal to protest for a whole range of things against slavery in the US, so we have to take a stand.